Hi, everyone. Here's a short clip of our podcast with founder of Food Rebel and ElikaFit.com, Elika Tasker. Please enjoy. Right. When did you start out the kitchen? And if, let's say, for example, today I said, "Hey, Elika, I am thinking about opening up, a small F&B setup. What are the steps that I need to take?"
Absolutely. Well, that's what I do now, obviously, and I do F&B consulting as well. So I did it for 5 years. So uh, I opened the doors officially. I mean, it was like December 2014, but officially it was January 2015. Um, and what I would say is I spent 9 months doing a business plan in advance of that, which included researching over 20 odd different restaurants within a 2 kilometre radius of my own, and looking into restaurants that already exist within the whole of Singapore that had concepts that were based around organic or whole foods, looking at amount of staff that they had, what their menu looked like, the design, their website, what their mission and vision was of the business. All of these were things that I included in my business planning process. Okay, so there was a lot of what we call competitor analysis, and I come from a business background, so to me that I didn't understand restaurant business, I didn't know that, so I could learn it. But what I did know was the foundations of what it should be to create a business plan. So that's what I did. I did some projections and I looked at my vision for the business in 5 years and 10 years. So that was before we even opened up. Then there's a design stage, okay? So this is critical, is I didn't do this very well at all. I really relied on the people that I was starting with that had experience that were going to run the kitchen to look at that design stage. It wasn't my forte at all. So we were able to source a really good designer who was used to designing F&B establishments. But I wish I'd spent more time looking at the design, like literally walking in and out the kitchens or the space of the 20 restaurants that I looked at in my competitor analysis, because I missed that bit. So when it came to design, I missed so many basics, like where you visually put the menu when people walk in. That saves so much time in the buying process. We know from huge conglomerates like businesses like Amazon how, if you can make it easy for the customer to buy, you increase your sales. So this to me was a small thing. I had my big board, the biggest board that I could have, with my mission and vision of the business all over it. And that should have been the menu, right? So there were small mistakes that I made there. So never underestimate the design that creates efficiency for your team and creates enhanced profits. Then from there, of course, every business is as good as the people you hire. So it was about hiring. So I started off with very, very junior, enthusiastic staff. And I think what the downside of that was they were super enthusiastic, super creative, just young, really inspired individuals they were amazing, but none of them had experience. So essentially then you've got the blind leading the blind. So don't underestimate the ability to have one person that you trust that has experience. And when I say has experience, I don't mean, I worked as a manager under blah, blah, blah for 2 years, then I went to blah, blah, blah for another 2 years. I mean, they set up a business, they ran it, they achieved profit. Very big difference. Everyone will tell you all the different businesses, all the people that worked under. Unless you were there watching how they performed, it's just hearsay. So good people. So you need at least, obviously mine was a 40-seater, so I only needed one solid rock in that experience. And then from there, obviously, think about your product and think about who is your audience. So that comes in the analysis, your business creation stage, right? Who is it that you're here to serve? Be very, very clear who is the person that you're after. Because the moment that traffic starts coming in the door, you're going to dilute your brand by trying to please everybody, because they're all going to want you to please them and you can't. So if you're very clear on who that person is, then you don't dilute that. So I knew the person. I'd gone so down to this bit I did very well. I went down to even what that person would be called if it was a person. So it was a name, right? So name, what they would age, salary, what they do in their spare time, what their habits and hobbies are. This is the detail that I went into to my typical customer profile. And therefore, it was very easy when you look at the product, because you're looking at the product and you're going, would this person want this? Now, for most business owners, that person is them, right? in which case that's fine. But if it's not you, then you better know who that profile is very well as you know yourself. And so then it becomes, the biggest learn is you don't learn anything until you actually do it. So you better be ready to receive feedback. You better be incentivizing everybody around you to receive feedback and see that as a crucial thing. Even if there's made a mistake, it's like, yeah, we made a mistake. Great opportunity to learn. So you better celebrate all of that. I didn't do a great job of that either. I was so petrified, so fearful of all the things that could go wrong that in my early days, I just put so much fear into my team. So, this was a lot of mistakes that I made very early on. And you start to realize that fear feeds fear, right? Yeah. So I was always very ambitious in myself and could trust myself, but I was in an environment that I didn't have experience in. So I was learning as I went along, and my life experiences had taught me things to watch out for, but those things in this environment were making me quite fearful because the restaurant industry has many moving parts, right? So, so through that feedback, your reviews on your website, on Google, on TripAdvisor, you're going to see very fast the areas to improve. And then you're going to have a million things going wrong. You're going to have things breaking, just everything's going to be going wrong around you. So it's about which fire is the biggest to put out. And you're always putting out fires. So I would say that's probably enough for you to get going with.
No, I love the fact that it's just those 5 steps, and it's very, very applicable to not just the restaurant business, but in anything that you're starting out. Exactly. You always start with a vision, right? You definitely need your design thinking about your ergonomics, your economics need to be in there, the people you trust around you. And of course, you've got to know your customer profile. And at the end of the day, I think step number 5, personally, it hits me the hardest. Getting feedback. You got to chuck your ego out the door and just go, look, tell me anything. Because at the end of the day, if you're my customer, I need to know you better. And the only way for me to know you better is to hear everything, all the shit that's got to come out. I got to hear it.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Thanks again for watching, guys, and showing your support to this channel. Now, do me a favor, click that subscribe button. And if you really care enough, add a like as well as comment below. Tell me how I'm doing. I need to improve as well. Thanks a lot.